All right. Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah, and I will be your host for today. And with me is one of the Reader's Magnet's featured author, and of course, one of the most valuable author we have. And today, he will be sharing to us what his story is all about, him being an author, and the inspiration behind his book. So, yes, everyone, let's all welcome our one and only Mr. Joe Estacio, author of the book When I Was Young. Yes, hi Joe, it's good to have you here. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Hi, Leah. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Thank you so much for that, Joe. So here, you know what, Joe, I'm very excited to have this discussion with you right now, knowing that, I've been hearing a lot of good things from about you from your consultant Kim and as well as Nikki. So, yep.
Yes.
Saying that absolutely. Now, Joe, before we deal with your book, why not, let's introduce yourself to our viewers, just a little bit of information about who Joe Estacio is.
Okay. I'm Joe Estacio. I live in Clovis, California, and I'm also I work for Amazon. I'm an Amazon
Hmm.
employee. I work at the warehouse here in Fresno. So I'm also a father of two. I'm married to my wife. Her name is Fatima, and we live in Clovis, California. And I started writing my book about 2 years ago, 2021, during the pandemic.
Mm. Wow, that is awesome, Joe. And we're very honored to have you here with Reader's Magnet family. And of course, we are so pleased as well to be with you in this journey. And you know what? Yes, this is the moment that we've been waiting for because it's time to discuss about Joe's book. Now, Joe, before we do some questions, do you have your book with you right now? Will you show
I
it to our viewers?
I do. It's right here, and it's available on
Okay,
Amazon.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you have everyone. There you go. All right. So here, Joe, I wanted to start with the title, When I Was Young. Can you tell us about it and when did it started?
When I was young is it's about my childhood in Brooklyn, and
Mm,
my it started out as a poem. My kids wanted me to tell them a story about my childhood because we ran out of books to read during when we were inside when we were in the pandemic. So they asked me to tell them a story about my childhood. So and it started out as a poem, and I realized it was a story about my childhood in Brooklyn, and it just unfolded from there. They inspired me to write my book. I just had to get down and write it. So
wow, that's nice. I like that show. I mean, from your own experience to sharing it to people, and of course for your kids as well. You know what, Joe? This book of yours kind of also giving us the feeling of what was the life of being a kid, that characteristics of a former time, as a young one, right?
yes, yes,
As a
yes.
young one who is, yes, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's about the time when I was growing up, and it was a time when it was really safe to do a lot of things, and we never really
Hmm.
thought about being unsafe with things that we usually normally do, like going to like the supermarket and stuff, and the malls and everything. But and being able to walk to school and being playing outside and going out and just enjoying life and enjoying everything around us. But things have changed pretty dramatically. So.
Right, especially that feeling of not afraid to express what we truly feel. Oh God,
Right,
I miss
right,
being a kid. But
right.
yeah, this is reality. This is what we have now, and there's no way of going back.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
let's enjoy the moment. Yes. Now, Joe, you mentioned earlier that you created this book during pandemic, right? Now, we
Correct.
wanted to know when was the first time that you decided to really jot down notes, or let's just say, what really led you into writing this piece?
Well, I've always wanted to become a writer since I became a father. My first time being a father when my son was born, my son Adam. I read to him a lot of books,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the books that I read were like Dr. Seuss, a lot of rhyming books, and I had the inspiration to do such a thing and I wanted to get down and do it, but it was just hard to find the time. So when we were stuck inside, my kids actually told me to actually this is the time to do it. So I actually went out and started writing stuff, and I got inspired by another poet uh,
Hmm.
from from television. I think it was I can't remember her name, but she inspired me from one of her poems. So
Wow. That is truly amazing, Joe. Now, I believe that it's more than a story. It's more than you sharing your experience, but I believe that this book is also advocating for a specific cause and agenda, right? So can you tell us more about that?
well, I wanted to express my feelings of how like I said, like how things were different back then, and how are we going to make it the same as it was before, or change
Hmm.
things to make it as it was the way we want it, and how our kids want it, how we want our kids to grow up, and what kind of world they want to be, and we want them to be in when we when they're old enough to have their own kids, you know. So
I
that was
like that.
that's my point of this book is how are we going to handle making it safe for them and for our
Hmm.
grandkids, you know.
Right. And you know what? That's very priceless show. I mean, I really like how you created this book because again, it's not just about sharing your experience from your childhood, but I believe that it's also giving them the idea of, let's say, of what benefit can a child have from having that good relationship with their parents, grandparents, that would also give them the better health. Thinking,
Yes,
the right attitude towards people, and also this is very important because I also read some information online that it is also another help for less depression and fewer chronic illnesses as older adults. Wow,
correct,
that's
correct. This is
that's
a
amazing.
this is the kind of story that you can that older generation that the older generation can share with their kids and their
Can also
grandkids.
have.
Yes,
Wow,
yeah,
right. You know what? It really makes us remember the best times of our lives as well. Being with grandparents, do stuff differently with what we have right now. Because right now, there's really an advantages of Hello, Joe.
hello, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I lost you. Yeah, so there's really a lot of good ideas that you have in this book. Now, if I just wanted to also ask Joe, creating this book, having the inspiration from your experiences, and also sharing it to your kids, to the people, what was the impact of writing this book to you and to your loved ones?
Oh, the impact, everybody was surprised when I actually came out with it. I didn't really tell anybody but what I was going to do, because I didn't want anybody to have an influence of what I wanted to say, and I wanted to make sure that it was my story and not anybody else's. You know, I mean, if you tell people,
Right.
you tell people what you're doing and stuff, and the ideas that you have, then they start trying to change what you want to do. So I just kept it a secret, kept it with myself and my kids, and I just asked them about what would make it good, what would make it better, that would make it
Hmm.
interesting for people. So and they had ideas about it, and they had their own ideas of how it would make it interesting. So yeah.
Right. Yes, and also Joe, having this book as a successful creation, is there any times that you, let's say, encounter as most difficult part of your writing process?
Was there a difficult time?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, actually, it was, it's like when I wrote it, when I was in the process of writing, it took me about 2 months to write the whole thing.
Mm,
And it's a way of when you're writing stuff and you want to make it perfect. It's like you're chiseling away the imperfect parts. You write so much of it, and then you chisel away the stuff would make it a little too long, or a little too uninteresting, or
mm,
just repetitive. And I slowly, and I really wasn't happy with it. I mean, it was hard to get the finalized thing until I actually read it to my kids, and they said
mhm,
it was almost there. So I just needed to tweak a little more, and it took me about maybe 2.5 months to chisel away
mhm.
the imperfectness of it. So just to make it perfect the way I wanted it. So
Right, especially creating words that are easy to understand, especially for kids, right?
yes, to make it easy to
Yes.
understand, to make it
Mhm.
rhyme, and to say exactly what you wanted to say without having without having to really explain,
Infusions.
and they get it,
Right.
you know. Yes. So
Wow, that's nice, Joe. But despite all that, the challenges, look at you now, kids already in this platform, sharing the story to the people. And I'm going to say that this is really a good one. You did a great job on this book, Joe. And you know what, Joe? Yeah, as what I have mentioned earlier, that this book would really give a good impact, for families out there. Because again, full of learning, positive ideas, let's say about giving, as well as the connection. I like that.
yes,
The
yes,
connection of I must say of warm emotional bond between adults and kids. I love that. Such a very powerful thing that could really help everyone to have that new perspective, let's say a thorough understanding that will definitely bind people and family together. This is
right.
awesome.
It has pretty much everything in it. It makes you want to wonder, but it
Right.
also has a really happy ending at the end that makes you feel like you can actually you can sleep. Hopefully,
That's
it's a
funny.
bedtime story pretty much, so it can makes you feel better after reading it, and I mean, your kids will be able to sleep afterwards and dream better. So
Right. And you know what, Joe? I wanted you to take this opportunity. What do you want your readers to feel after reading your book?
well, I mean, if for any number of reasons, I want for the kids, if they see it, if they hear it, just to know that the world is it can be safer for them. They have to really watch out nowadays. But for parents and grandparents, I want them to really see what our world is like right now, and
Hmm.
what they can do, how much they influence on the way that the world can change towards our kids when they're older, or even so it's a lot safer for them. You know, that's my view about this. This is how I saw it. But
Right.
I, anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Cannot agree more. Cannot agree more. And you know what, Joe? Yes. I wanted you to use this platform. Let's invite our viewers for your upcoming book signing, and of course for your Reader's Magnet book confab.
cool.
Take the
Uh,
stage, Joe.
I'm gonna be at the LA Times Book Show, which is festival of books, which is on
Hmm.
April 22nd, 23rd, I believe. And I'm going to
Yes.
be out. I'm gonna be out there. My book is going to be out there. It's going to be featured, and I'm going to be out there signing books, signing copies. If you guys are out there, I'll be there for the weekend. And I'm also going to be at the San Francisco Confab, which is a great
Hmm.
thing. I was at the New York Confab, and I loved it. It was wonderful.
Right.
Uh, Authors like myself can tell their stories. They're free to tell everybody
Absolutely.
the stories and to debut their stuff. It's wonderful. If you guys are out to see Confab, It's a wonderful thing to see, and to meet authors, new authors, and
Mhm.
hear their stories. So I'm excited for that as well.
Yes, you heard it right, everyone. So Joe will be in for the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books, and that will be on April 22nd to 23rd in University of Southern California, Los Angeles, USC campus. And yes, not just that, because Joe will also be joining the Reader's Magnet Book Confab in San Francisco on April 28th to the 30th, and that will be in 1086 Howard Street, San Francisco, California. And yes, viewers, it will be your chance to know him more as an author and, of course, more information about his book. So, again, Joe, thank you so much for gracing with us today and choosing Reader's Magnet to be part of this journey. Everyone, Mr. Joe Estacio, author
Thank you,
of the book
Leah.
When I Was Young. So,
Thank you,
again, his book
everyone.
is available in Amazon.com, yes, Barnes and Noble, and yes, please don't forget to follow him on all the social media platform he has. And again, thank you so much, Joe, as we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
God bless.
God bless you, Joe. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you.